About a month ago, I declined a job that would have put me into the next echelon of my life and career. This video is not to convince you to decline jobs. It's more so to encourage you to investigate what era of life you are in, for you to rethink your values, what makes you happy, and rethink what you define as peace in this moment in time. What I would have wanted years ago, or what would have made my career move forward, I realized very recently, like within 1 week of time, that maybe that's not really what I wanted. And I made a decision to move in alignment with the person that I am now versus the person that I thought I wanted to be. Let me just backtrack to tell you this story. In December of 2025, I met someone at a holiday party who basically told me that her friend was someone at a company. This person at the company was looking for an executive director role with a skill set that matched mine. So if you know about my background, I work in education. I'm a learning experience designer, but I basically have skills in admin, learning design, graphic design. Like I could do it all in terms of education. And I've been a teacher. I facilitate workshops, yada, yada. So this role was honestly perfect for me. And I knew that I could do it. And I knew that if I just ace this interview, then I will have that executive director role and I will basically be in another chapter in my career. I began to speak with this person at the company. I introduced myself, and then I went through the interview process. Essentially, from this interview process, I realized a lot of things about my own values and about the values of the company, and there was some misalignment there. Now, this video isn't about the company's actions and why I chose not to work there. It's more so a revelation into how the interview process became data for me to realize where I was at in life. And that information was crucial for me to really do an audit of the season of life that I'm in and to think about how a new job would fit into this era of my life. So doing that audit, it kind of made me think back to the past few years and where I've been and how I ended up in this moment. It allowed me to think about how I first moved to Atlanta and where I was at in life. In this moment, it wasn't giving me peace to think about this job and think that accepting this job would be peaceful. And I realized that I haven't actually had peace in a while. I don't know what peace for me looks like in this era of my life. So it kind of made me do an audit of the past few years of my life and think about the fact that I haven't had peace throughout probably the past 5-6 years that I've lived in Atlanta. So I moved to Atlanta in 2020. First of all, I moved during COVID, and that was a thing in and of itself. So I moved during COVID, we bought a home, and for the first year of living here, I was trying to get this home together while also having visitors who wanted to come stay with us in Atlanta. And so it was this constant trying to ground myself, but trying to also tailor our lives to constant guests that were coming for over a year's time frame. We were ungrounded for about a year. Then in 2020, I was actually held at gunpoint, and I can laugh about it now, but for about 2 years, I felt scared. I felt ungrounded. I felt that I had to always fight for, justice and advocate for myself. And I just felt so uncomfortable in my own skin and in my own home. So another 2 years of not feeling rooted and grounded in this new life that I set out for myself. And then once that situation finally was finished and justice was served, essentially, in 2023, even then I had started a new job. In 2023, I got laid off. I didn't work for 9 months. I ended up getting a new job. I got called back into the office. I had a new boss who tried to get me basically gone from that job. So I ended up quitting that job. I started another job. And my house flooded. So over the past 5 years since I moved to Atlanta, it has always been this push-pull. Like I've gotten somewhere and then I've gotten reeled back from a situation that I've had to deal with. And then I've had to recover from that situation. And then another thing happened. And then I had to heal from that. So it's been this constant pattern of going through something, then healing, going through something, then healing. And that's life in general. But over the past 5 years, it seems like it has happened a lot. I really took 2025 to really take the year of the snake to heart, because I really felt that so much was happening in 2025 that I was just shedding the weight over the past 5 years. And so when this job opportunity presented itself in December 2025, I thought, wow, this might be a new start to a new chapter in life where I am at a different point in my career. It's the year of the horse, and I am moving in abundance and just kind of galloping through life into my future. After this situation with the interview process and really thinking about what this job would entail, I realized that it would be a daily do something and have to heal from it, do something and have to heal from it, because this company was publicly going through a transition phase. This constant push-pull, it wasn't what I needed to fully heal from the past 5 years. And basically I realized that I hadn't healed from the past 5 years. I hadn't healed because I don't know what peace looks like for me now that I am 35 years old, about to be married, and about to just transition into a truly next chapter of my life. Because 30 to 34, that was pretty insane. And in my mind, I was determined to say, okay, from 35 to 40, I'm going to be focused on rebuilding and building a foundation that serves me more for the rest of my life, more than having to keep recovering from the present moments. With that newfound mindset, I realized that this job was not for me. I needed to withdraw myself from the application process and not take on someone else's role and responsibility for someone else to fix. Right now, I realize that in this year, especially, I need to focus on my own healing and my own journey towards becoming, and realizing, what does it mean to be right now? Like, what does it mean to just be and not have to recover or not have to heal or not have to be traumatized? I don't even know what it means for Morgan at 35 years old to just be. Not work toward anything, not do anything extreme. I just need to be and become. My being and becoming, it can happen in complexity, and it can happen in difficult, challenging situations with jobs and work and figuring out solutions to problems. But right now, I need to focus on building a foundation. And I need to focus on what that foundation it will be built on. For the past 5 years, well, for my whole life, it's been built off of super achievement. For the past 5 years, it's been built off of recovering from trauma and achieving. Now, foundation, what that platform for myself is going to be built off of. And I know where I want to go in life. I know the values that I want to uphold, which are freedom, flexibility, movement, health, wealth, but building generational wealth. I'm thinking about what my spirit is going to be like in 500 years, as opposed to what I'm going to be doing in 5 years. That is the trajectory that I am on. I'm in the zone of tuning my spirit at such a high frequency. I'm just operating on another level that I couldn't have even pictured for myself. I want to operate on a frequency. I don't want to operate off of achievement, productivity, titles of jobs, or anything like that, because I never have operated in that way. But choosing that job would have made me operate from a place of choosing this job because it's a better title. I don't want that. I don't need that, because that is not in tune with the frequency that I want to have for myself. I decided not to take the job. And I'm really proud of myself, because again, in another world, I would have taken the job. I would have taken on the problem. I would have taken on the challenge. But again, I would have taken on the problem. And that job came with a lot of problems because it was in such a transitional state. But right now, I'm in a transitional state. Yes, you can focus on transitions at the same time, but I wanted to fully focus on my own transition so that I can transform. And there's a difference between transitioning and transforming. Transitioning, maybe you're going through a period of time and you're still remaining the same person, but just going through different challenges. I want to transform. I want to become a new person with new skills, new habits, a new mentality, a higher frequency, because I have allowed myself the time and space to be able to transform. Through that transformation, I'm hoping to just learn more about myself. I'm hoping to become, and I really want to use this as a time to study myself. So in that vein, this is actually my first video back on YouTube after months of being off, and clearly from my story, as you can see, 2025 was insane for me, and that is why I have not been on YouTube. But as my first video back, I'm not necessarily explaining myself and why I've been gone, but more so what I plan to do in the future to not even show up on YouTube, but for myself to be and become and learn about myself so that I can show up and tell stories and shift narratives and make impact in the way that I want to at both a micro level through my daily habits, a meso level within myself and just my own identity and my habits of thought, and a macro level in the ways that you show up in the world and actualize your potential. If you don't know, I'm in a PhD program right now, and I am using this PhD program as a time to explore myself, explore my own being and becoming, and my own leadership skills, using that data as a way to inform how I lead others. And so I need to make this my own study. I need to conduct research on myself. And I'm doing that through exploring my world and sharing it on YouTube in the form of an autoethnography. So basically, this video serves as my first entry into my autoethnography, a documentation of my own being and becoming, and how I'm developing and transforming into the person that I want to be, and using that as data to inform my future movement and my future leadership practices to be able to lead other people in the world. So I hope that you follow along, but through this journey over the past 5 years, and especially with this declining of this most recent job offer, I realized a lot about myself, and I needed that moment in time. I needed that. That was like the universe coming down and saying, Morgan, do you want to have this life where you think that you want the title and all of the things that come with working at a job and going into an office? Or do you want to continue on your path, trust the process, work on your autoethnography, research yourself, and build the platform for you to shift the narrative and help other people transform and actualize their potential? Honey, I'm choosing this every single day, and this is where I want to go. And first, I need to just create the content. And right now, the content will be to explore my own journey of being and becoming, and hopefully I'm inspiring you as well. So I'm not telling you to decline the job, but I am telling you to use this moment in time, like audit your life. Use this moment in time to explore, what does it mean to be? What does it mean to become? And how will that inform your own forward movement in life for who you want to be, and how will you actualize your potential with that knowledge? And honey, that's where I'm going to stop right there. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Morgan. Thanks for watching my channel, Actualized AF, where we talk strategies, tips, and inspiration for actualizing the life you've always visualized. Make sure you subscribe down below, comment, anything that you're trying to do in this life, because I'm here with you, and any tips that you want, I'm happy to share. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
So
Bye.
presently I'm standing here right now, you're so demanding. Tell me what you want from me. Concluding